Episode 9 is said to have many different connections to not just the prequel and the original trilogies, but also the hit TV series Star Wars Rebels by Dave Filoni. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, we are in the final weeks of filming for Episode 9. As we go through the month of February, J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio are very much hard at work on the last couple of weeks for this movie. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with a major hint and/or indicator of Ezra Bridger being in Episode 9. Specifically, a description of Rey and her crew with Maz Kanata on a battlefield, fighting against dozens of First Order troopers. It said that the First Order has the upper hand on the Resistance before Maz Kanata calls in for backup. The next goes over Maz Kanata's pirate sail barge entering the atmosphere that holds many of Maz Kanata's pirates and crew. One of the characters on board is codenamed EB, and is described to be in his late 50s with long black wavy hair and a goatee. The character is said to be wearing a similar outfit to Ezra Bridger from Rebels Season 4, however with darker shades. It's said the EB character is on a turret firing on troopers and eventually uses a rope to slide down to the surface of the planet and the battlefield as he takes over and goes behind Rebel with both Rey and Maz Kanata. It's described that the character has what appears to be a lightsaber hilt attached to his belt as he fights the First Order. The last goes over the EB character leading dozens of pirates while he uses an explosive weapon against some of the First Order vehicles on the battlefield. So I really want to go over a couple of parts about this that are really getting me very excited about this movie and the big connections that J.J. Abrams plans to bring into the film with the prequels, the originals, and of course Star Wars Rebels. Now, to me, I think that the dead giveaway that this is indeed going to be an older version of Ezra Bridger is of course the fact that this character's code name is EB. Now, EB most likely obviously has got to be an abbreviation for Ezra Bridger if I had to make a big guess here. You know, I can't really think of anything else there. Now, as far as Ezra Bridger coming into play here for Star Wars Episode 9, if this is indeed him, could it very well be a different take on the character, kind of like what they did with Saw Gerrera in Rogue One: A Star Wars Story in comparison to how he was in the Clone Wars TV series. You can see the big differences there. And it seems as though that Disney, Lucasfilm, JJ, and crew want to do a very similar thing in Episode 9, just like what they did in Rogue One. Now, the next thing that I do want to go over is how the character is in his late 50s, which also makes sense because we do know that Ezra Bridger was born on Empire Day, just a little bit before or after, I believe, Luke Skywalker was born. So they're in or around the same exact age, and to my knowledge, I believe Luke, during the events of The Force Awakens, is at the age of 54 or 55. So with that being said, the next thing that I really do want to go over is the mention of his outfit being very similar to Ezra Bridger's in Star Wars Rebels Season 4 with darker shades, and even having a lightsaber hilt on his belt as he fights through his way in the battlefield. Now, if we look at this battlefield, a lot of people have been talking about this for a very long time now, and I really do believe that it's going to be the First Order headquarters and is going to be the final showdown between the Resistance and the First Order itself. And this is most definitely a scene that takes place before the lightsaber duel between both Kylo Ren and Rey. Of the character of Ezra Bridger. I will say that when I first saw Saw Gerrera, and the same thing goes for a lot of other fans out there, I wanted to watch the Clone Wars more, and as I watched it, I got to see the character in his younger years, and I liked that. I liked how it encouraged me to go back and watch and examine the character more in the specific scenes that I was looking for in that actual animated piece. So the next thing that I do want to go over is how he's fighting troopers and he's making his way across the battlefield using an explosive weapon against First Order vehicles. Now, this most definitely takes place on, of course, the same exact planet that we went over about 3 weeks ago, where Finn, Poe, and Rey work together as a team, where Finn actually goes through the trenches. Yes, this actual planet is going to have trenches. It's actually said to have a lot of inspirations from World War II, from, of course, the moment in which we do see Normandy and the actual Normandy beach. So this whole entire sequence is inspired by that. There's a large building that overlooks this wide field that is going to be the battlefield between the First Order and the Resistance. So you can only imagine the amount of sacrifices and losses that will take place during this major scene in Episode 9. Now, as far as Maz Kanata being affiliated with Ezra Bridger and Ahsoka Tano, if these characters are indeed those actual characters, given that they are both codenamed EB and AT, I think it's a dead giveaway that those are abbreviations of the actual characters from Star Wars Rebels. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.